Should we wash our hands? Yes. Should we stay home if sick? Yes. Should we get outdoors, eat right, and develop healthy immune systems? Yes. Should we preach against a sedentary lifestyle that leads to obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and compromised immune systems? Yes. Should we be careful to avoid getting sick if we have serious health issues like those mentioned? Yes. Those are not COVID things. Those are common sense things. Things that make a difference not just now, but always. But let's turn to forcing kids to wear masks against their will. Let's turn to forcing age-inappropriate use of masks when we know they will not be worn. Let's turn to living in some folly in which kids and families spend all day maskless except when in school or at school events and pretend it makes a difference. Let's turn to you all blabbering about guidelines and mandates that have been wrong and ineffective again and again. Your acquiescence and unwillingness to fight for common sense cost our kids dearly in 2020. You did that by repeatedly rolling over for bureaucrats instead of standing up for kids and for common sense. You stunted their education for a year. One definition of insanity is to do the same thing again and again and expect different results. Enough. It's time to fight for kids and not roll over for lazy, self-entitled teachers' unions, meaningless virtue signaling, and letting yourselves be pawns of the Ohio School Board Association. I am here to say no to forced masking in schools ever again. I am a voice of reason and tolerance. I have no issue with those who want to wear masks or shields or both. I have no issue with those seeking the isolation of online education academies or homeschooling. I have no issue with those in our society who want to shelter in place and use touchless delivery. I think we should all be proud that our society has done so much to accommodate them. I am not one of them. I also have no issue with kids and families who get vaccinated. More power to them. I am tolerant. How about you? Kids only get one chance at growing up, of developing social skills, of laying an educational foundation for lifelong learning, of learning to assess risk and, with parents, make their own risk decisions, of learning to live versus live in fear. The state COVID dashboard has a category for 19 and under. In 2018, per the Ohio Department of Development, there were about 2.9 million Ohioans 19 and under. It is probably higher now, but let's compare that to the COVID statistics on the state's own dashboard, which many do not trust, but I will use. The state shows that 154,563 people 19 and under have tested positive for COVID. That is 5.3% of that population. 1,629 were hospitalized. That is 0.056%. 7 died with or from COVID. That is 0.0002%. That is right, 3 zeros and a 2. Death at such a young age is particularly tragic, but looking at the top 3 causes of death in those 1 to 19 per the CDC sheds some light. They are number 1, unintentional injury, number 2, suicide, and number 3, homicide. All take more lives of those 1 to 19 annually than COVID did in 2020. Kids 19 and under have a 10 times higher chance of dying of homicide or suicide than of COVID. They are over 20 times more likely to die of unintentional injury than COVID. So how about some risk assessment? How about some real adults in the room? But let's go to masks. Remember when they were bad before they were good? Remember when touching a surface spread COVID before it did not? Can you show me how there was asymptomatic spread of COVID in people under 19 in our school system? Can you show me how masks had any real impact? You cannot, because your acquiescence to accepting the unobserved has left you trapped defending the idiotic. And when challenged with fact and observed reality, you blabber about ever-changing guidelines and mandates like fools who are afraid of your own shadows. Here is something pretty simple to ponder and pretty common sense given the almost non-existent risk. Here is the policy you should have. Masks are optional in school and at school events. Students and staff are welcome to wear one or many masks, face shields, and gloves. Symptomatic people should not be in school and should get tested. Those who specifically test positive should stay home. Teachers who are uncomfortable with doing their jobs, even wearing masks, shields, and gloves, should be terminated so they can seek different opportunities. Simple, common sense, fair to all. And if Mike DeWine does not like it, so what? Will he send the Gestapo in an election year to shut down our schools? Let him. This is supposed to be an education home rule state. Start acting like it is. Start being leaders, not lemmings. But let's go beyond masks, because, let's face it, education is a mess in Ohio. From age-inappropriate graphic sexuality, critical race theory, 1619 Project, biological males using female bathrooms and locker rooms, and more insanity. I have given you each a copy of the contract with the district. It is asking where you stand on 11 points. I would like you to sign it, agreeing to all 11 points, or using the opt-in version where you can pick which ones you will fight for and against. We deserve to know, and your behavior in the last year has caused us not to trust that you represent us, the parents and taxpayers. Be transparent with us and show some leadership. Say no to forced masking and no to hiding from the voters on where you stand on the key issues of the day in education. Thank you.